I mean that God's not through with you yet. Say it with me. God's not through with me yet. Put it in the chat real quick and say it out loud again. God's not through with me yet. You keep saying you. So say it to the person next to you. Apparently you want somebody to hear this. Tell them God's not through with you yet. That means he's got a lot of work to do on you. Tell them you got a lot of rough edges. You really, really do. You need that spiritual sandpaper. You got a lot of pieces floating around in that box. You are not a finished product yet. So don't do you. Do the you that God knew before you ever got here on the earth. What a horrible piece of cultural advice. I get it. Be yourself. I'm all for that. Find your gifts. Play to your strengths. I do that all the time. All I do is talk and write stuff. I don't even sing the songs I write. I just write them and let somebody else sing them. That's how much I believe in play to your strengths. But at the same time, I do believe that there are manifestations of who you really are that you haven't met yet. And so to sell yourself short is really to insult God if you just say, this is how I am. This is how my mom was. This is where I come from. This is just how we do it. And that has been the challenge of this series, that radical self-acceptance because of the grace of Jesus Christ should not lead to complacency. Radical grace leads to change. The more you accept all that stuff about you that only the people who live with you know, and they only know a fraction. Don't make me prophesy. I'll speak in tongues, interpret my own tongues, and tell your business. It's very true that we need to be okay with who we are and where we are. It's very true that we need to celebrate our strengths and celebrate in each stage of our development, not waiting for a future day for us to give God praise for all that He's done. In fact, on the way to church today, I just went through several things in my mind that I was worried about through the last few years that God worked out. I was driving 80 miles an hour by the time I got to thinking about it, because I'm like, let's go, Jesus. What are you going to do in this season? I remember that rearview mirror. What seems so big? Y'all remember Meatloaf? Objects in the rearview mirror may appear closer than they are, and I would do anything for God. A mashup, little Meatloaf mashup. Let's get back to the message from the Apostle Paul writing to the church at Ephesus and writing to us to tell us, and this phrasing is really cool. You were taught with regard to your former way of life to put off your old self. That doesn't mean you stop texting people back when you blow up. That's not what he's saying. That doesn't mean a bigger house necessarily, although it could. It has to do with the inside things that are keeping me from being what God created me to be. And we know what He created us to be. I'm going to tell you what God created you to be. Look at verse 24. Like Him. Did they put the verse up on the screen, or yeah? That's what He created you to be. Did God want me to be a singer? Or does God want me to go over here and study abroad? Or does God want me to go to Penn State? Or does God want me to be athlete? Or does God want me to double major? Or does God want me to move my mom in with me? I don't know. He wants you to be like Him. Whoever's living with you, wherever you're going to school, whatever you're majoring in, that's what He's doing in my life, in your life. And yet I had an interesting picture. I'm going to give you a picture from my life. Really from every Saturday in my life when I go watch Graham wrestle. Takes me back to when I wrestled. I wasn't nearly as good as him. Not even close. Not even close. And truth be told, he could beat me now. Right now, he could beat me. And I outweigh him by 25 pounds. But don't tell him that because he might try it. If we had to play according to the rules, I hit him with a shovel if he really comes at me. But if we had to do the rules and there was a ref and a whistle and a mat and all that, then I'm going to give you an Old Testament picture and we're going to try to tie up this idea. Not the idea of you becoming what God made you to be, because when you stop doing that, that's when God is done changing you. That's when you're done. We made a song one time that said, if I'm not dead, He's not done. Greater things are still to come. I believe that. I believe it for you. Whether you want to believe it for you or not, you can't stop me from believing for you. What you going to do about it? I believe that God is not through with you. Tell your neighbor one more time, God is not through with you. And here's the proof. Here's the proof. You're still doing this. He's still making ways. If you're still doing this, He still has a plan for you. One prophet said on behalf of God, for I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. That's Jeremiah 29:11. Your grandma had that on a quilt somewhere. And you ought to get it in your heart and in your consciousness because He knows the plans He has for you. I want to preach a little bit of faith before our 17-year anniversary. God is not through with us yet. Not yet. Stop doing this and he'll quit doing what he does. But as long as you have breath, you have a reason to believe that all things are possible. You know, when I started the series, I mentioned Jeremiah. I mentioned Jeremiah 29:11 today. That's the most popular verse that he did his greatest hit. But then he's writing to captives in Babylon who are going to be taken away. And when he was spoken to by God, check this out. He didn't really believe that God could do it through him, because he had the 3 excuses that we mentioned earlier where he said, I don't have it. I don't know how. I'm not like them. I'm too young. I'm not like them. Those who are seasoned who can prophesy, I don't have it. I don't have the words that I need. And for us, it's not always words. It's resources. It's money. It's time. It's energy. It's good knees. I got all ages in the church, so we just hit everything. Too young, too old. You got Moses too old, Jeremiah too young. So all of that is an excuse. But remember what the Lord said. I want to show you the scripture again. I wasn't going to show this one, but I think we need the whole sandwich. Verse 5 of chapter 1, the Lord said, before you were born, I knew you. Ga-N-A-V. The me that I'm going to be as I grow into what God called me to be is the me that God has already seen. That sets you free from trying to become something. I thought, oh man, I wish I was that. You don't have to wish you was. You was long before life did what life did, and you did what you did. God knew you. So when he says, I knew you before you were born, that means that God knows my potential. It also means I don't. I know my past, I know my preferences, I know my problems. God knows my potential. Only he does. Only he really knows what he put in you. Only he knows what he sees in 2 years that he's training you for right now. You got to believe this as I preach it. You got to put a little bit of faith on this word. A little bit of faith. God knew. K knew. And what is new to me is known to God. What is foreign to me is familiar to him. That's Jeremiah 1:5. He knows my potential. In the chat right now, God knows my potential. Say it. God knows my potential. Riverwalk, y'all aren't saying anything today. I feel your apathy. Say it right now. God knows my potential. But then in Jeremiah 29, he says, for I know the plans I have for you, and the plans I have for your older sister, and the plans I have for your best friend who's getting married this spring, but you're not yet. And the plans that I have for your friend who's getting on your last nerve, and you keep trying to fix them, but you can't. And the plans that I have for your boss who you think is in control, but really, I'ma move him to Minnesota in 6 months. So don't get impatient. Just stay right there because I know the plans. My confidence is in God's knowledge. He said, I knew you before I formed you. You were spirit before you were skeletal. Before you had a birth certificate, you had a purpose. I knew you when. Now, when people say that they want to keep you stuck in something that they're comfortable with, I knew you when. But when God says that he's calling you forward into something that no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and neither has it entered into the heart of man, what God has planned. I know the plans I had for you. Spoiler alert, you don't know the plans. You know the plans you have for you, and you know the plans you have for your daughter. And God knows. God knows the plans he has for you, and for her, and for them, and for this, and for that. Thank you, Lord. Okay, he's not through with me yet. He still has things he's doing in me. So I can't do the me that I memorized from last year. When God knows the me that it's going to manifest as I mature in him and grow in him, so I can surprise myself. Wow, look how I responded to that so well. Wow, look at me giving money away when I used to be stingy. Wow, I used to wait for other people to pay for my meal. Now I'm paying for somebody else's. Wow, I used to need somebody to put tires on my car, and now I'm paying for the tires, the good ones. Wow, look at you in church. Wow, look at you in an e-group. Wow, look at you not even texting or scrolling during my sermon. Wow, look at God doing a new thing in you. Give him praise for what he's already done. Give him praise for what he's going to do. I knew you, and I know the plans I have for you. So Paul does this annoying thing that we preachers do often, which is to make something that is such a struggle sound so simple. I don't know if it's been irritating you the last few weeks. It really gets under my skin, where he said in verse 22, you were taught with regard to what you used to do and what you still struggle with, both secretly and openly, the rude things that you do, the rude things that you think. How many people would be impressed with how nice you are if they knew how nasty you wanted to be and didn't be in certain situations? So all of that that's on the inside, Paul says, you were taught with regard to your former life to put off your old self. Thanks, Paul, because he said you were taught, and here in the Greek I spent 5.5 years on a seminary degree, so I have to use that sometimes. In the Greek, the phrase means that it follows from the teaching you receive. So when God teaches you, it's to transform you, not to puff you up. You don't get these messages so you can look down on other people who aren't enlightened because you know more of the Bible than they do. It's so that you can grow by it. That's why God feeds you the Word of God, so that you can grow. And in this passage, he said, you were taught, give me verse 22, with regard to your former way of life to put off your old self. Now the way you read that is, you were taught to put off your old self. Somebody taught you to put off your old self, but that's not what it means. It means you were taught Jesus in order that to put off your old self. So it's an infinitive imperative. It follows from the first one. It means you were taught the reason God taught you, the reason he brought you here, was so that you could put on. That's the reason God has given you teaching. That's the reason that God gives you a word. That's the reason God gives you an experience. That's the reason he leads you through the valley, so you can get to know the shepherd. So that when you face that situation again, you'll be stronger, wiser, better, and ready. Stronger, wiser, better, and ready. I'm stronger, wiser, better, and ready. I'm stronger, I'm wiser, I'm better, and I'm ready. I was taught to put off my old way of life. Wouldn't it be nice if it were only that simple? Yeah, man, just put it off like this. It's like everybody in the room do what I say when I say it. Ready? Stand up. I love the contrarians. Like, no, I am seated in heavenly places with Christ. I know where this is going. Stand up. It's an illustration. Help me now. Sit down. That's kind of how I read it. Put off the old self and put on Jesus. That's simple, right? Well, so yesterday we're at Graham's wrestling, right? And this lady was sitting up at the top of the bleachers, and she kept yelling for her team. Not just her kids, the whole team. And that's great. I yell for our team too. And it's great to do that and be supportive. Only these kids can't hear you while they're out there wrestling. So all you're really doing is getting it out of your own system. They can't hear any of that. And besides, what is this lady going to coach that kid to do from up there? I mean, maybe she was a former NCAA Division I champion in her heyday. Didn't get that feeling, though. Didn't get that impression. Just seemed like she was loud. And so this was the moment of moments. And I was already praying about how to end this series. And I was out there praying about it. And she gave me my answer because I'm thinking of Paul saying, just put off your old way of life. Just stop being negative. Be positive. Right? Ready? Just do that. Just stand up. Just trust God. Just trust him. Trust him like the Bible says with all your heart. And so, all right, so it's a heavyweight match, right? And her team was the Spiders she was cheering for. She was cheering for the Spiders, had a big spider on the back of the uniform, the singlet, the tights, the spandex that they make wrestlers wear. You gotta be tough to wear those tights out there. I'm telling you right now, that's tough. So it's a heavyweight match that goes up to 275, 285 pounds, and the boy who was winning was every bit of 285. And the boy who was losing was not because it's a broad weight class. The boy who was winning was on top of the boy who was not winning. I think I'm going to do this as an illustration. I put it in my notes. If you feel they need it, act it out. So I'm going to act it out because I feel like you need it. I feel like you need it because I feel like all this is good. Put off the old self, but what I wore in here is heavier than a jacket. What I wore in here and what I'm worried about is heavier than just a bad day. Remember, he said the old self, old means it's been going on a long time. And a lot of the things we preach about real quick have been things you've been carrying for a long time. So it doesn't feel like just put it off. Just stop being manipulative. Dude, I struggle with manipulation because I was abandoned young and so I had to make things happen. So that's the only way I know how to do stuff is to make things happen because I had to make things happen, and now you're telling me just take that manipulation, trust God. So I'm going to be the guy that was down on the bottom, and I'm going to show you how you feel and what this lady was screaming. Graham, come up here. Graham's going to be the big guy. Remember, this is an illustration. Had this been an actual reality, I would kick his butt right up here. But just get on top of me like you're 285. And so it's something like this. Don't hurt me. And then, all right, so maybe he has the bigger guy has his forearm in the back of his neck. So do that. Yeah. And then the lady at the top of the bleachers is yelling, stand up to the spider on the bottom. And I'm sure he thought she knew his name. I don't remember. Let's say his name was Timmy. Stand up. Let's just call him Steven. Stand up, Steven. And I'm sure Steven was thinking on the bottom, oh yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to stand up. Thank you, lady at the top of the bleachers who hadn't exercised in 5 years, for reminding me what I'm supposed to be doing down here. And I think you feel like this when I preach sometimes, but you don't want to hurt my feelings, so you won't admit it. That I'm saying trust God. And you are like, thanks, I didn't think of that. Yeah, I should just trust God. I already had to fire 14 employees, my small business, but I just trust God. That'll be great. That'll really mean a lot to their pregnant wives who are expecting their 4th child, and now I had to lay them off. I appreciate it. I'll trust God. You know whom the Son sets free is free indeed. Be free. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be free. Never mind that this dependency is chemical and psychological and societal all at the same time. That's why when Barbara Kingsolver was on Holly's book club and she was talking about the opioid crisis in Appalachia, I was so enlightened for her to talk about how we judge people as being bad by their behaviors, but I don't understand the brokenness that came from their background to create the behaviors to begin with. Yeah, stand up. She said, stand up, be a spider. I don't have 8 legs. I don't spin webs. I'm not a I'm not a faith giant. I'm not the Apostle Paul. I'm not Jesus Christ. I'm just down here trying not to get pinned, trying not to be on my back. And what I realize when I preach more and more is like, I still need to tell you to stand up, but being told to do it and being taught to do it. Paul say you were taught Jesus. I can't see y'all right now. Am I doing good? Make some noise. I need the encouragement. This is very, very embarrassing. I did not want to do this illustration, but if it'll help us get on the same page, do the new you. I'm like, do the new me. I'm just trying to breathe, eat, feed people, not end up in prison. This pressure because I said stand up. You know what I want to say? When somebody says stand up and you gotta shut up, hey, just go make it work and trust the word and step out on faith and all this. And there's something inside of you that says, you tell me to do it, but teach me to do it. You all right, Graham? You got the good part of this illustration. Why did I do it this way? I could have flipped this. Watch what happened when Paul said in verse 20, he said that. You got verse 20 ready? I'm running out of blood up here. That, however, is not the way of life you learned. Next verse. When you heard about Christ and were taught in him in accordance with the truth. So watch this, everybody say, stand up. Stand up. Shout it. Say, stand up. I quit. I don't want to be a Christian. I think I'm going to try Buddhism. This is too hard. I can't do this. But if truth comes, what I've been trying to do, what I know I need to do, what I wish I could do, what you keep telling me to do. Watch this. Buck, come. Buck, come. Buck, 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 buck. You see what happened when I called Buck? You see what happened when I called Buck? Oh, you see what that devil did when I called the name, when I said I got somebody greater. Greater is he that is in me than he that was on my back. Hey, thanks for stopping by my YouTube channel. I hope you were blessed today. If you were, share this with somebody, like and subscribe, and leave me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from, what we can pray for you about. Hope to see you back here again really soon.